What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, and with me is Law, and we're going to be talking about X-Men 97, that finale, and then talking about season 2. Now, I've avoided asking you so far about this, so we could talk about it here, but tell me your thoughts on the finale.
Dude, I was blown away. I cannot believe, as a nerd, an adult nerd, that this exists.
I know.
I legitimately was just, they crammed a lot of, Chris Claremont storylines and just like comic storylines into 30-minute episodes. And then the last like half of the season, every episode had me wishing it was already next Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't even tell you the last time like a series made me feel so eager to see and then the finale happened, man. And I was like, how are they gonna do this? And they scratched all these itches I had as a fan, and they left us with like a great setup. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but like legitimately, I was so thrilled and just like satisfied with the finale, honestly.
And I think that's like a common that's like the common opinion right now, is that everybody felt so satisfied with how it ended. And like you said, like there was a lot of itches that were scratched, but it wasn't overdone. Like okay, it's like we're talking about the finale. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the finale.
Seriously, spoilers.
Because there's a lot of cameos, right? But I actually think they did the cameos in like a really good way. It is fan service, but it's done right, which is what I hope Deadpool is going to be like, right? Deadpool and Wolverine with all the cameos, like serving a purpose. Like showing all these cameos was perfect because it's like they're showing us the world, and like yes, there are other heroes in the world, and it's cool just to see like what like Peter and MJ. It wasn't Spider-Man, right? They already showed us Spider-Man before, but it was Peter and MJ
and Flash
Thompson. Yeah, exactly. And Flash like, behind him. So it's like, that's cool, right? Because it's just showing like, well, what are the other heroes doing in their world right now? Like, but it is also really cool because, I was like, maybe the X-Men come in at the end and help fight, the Avengers come in at the end and help the X-Men come in. But then I'm like, I talked about it before my live stream before the finale. I'm like, you know what? Disney has this thing that I actually really appreciate where they whatever the show is, they focus on what it's about. I'm like, about the X-Men. So no, the Avengers got a little quick, cool cameo, Iron Man and Captain America, but they didn't come in and help. It was all about the X-Men, right? And I think that's incredible.
I agree with you. Like that's exactly why I loved all the cameos, because I was like, oh, it's not taking away from the story. In fact, it enhanced like the world of what was going on. Just like when Magneto did the EMP across the globe. When we saw Silver Samurai, in my head, it's like, okay, so this is affecting Japan. This is affecting New York, where Spider-Man is, all this stuff. And it did the same thing here. It's like, oh, this is now affecting Wakanda.
Omega Red, right?
Omega Red. Oh, dude, Omega Red, Crimson Dynamo, and Darkstar. I was like, I could not believe some of these cameos, bro. Like, like Doctor Strange was great. And sorry, that Brown
Psylocke and
dude, Psylocke is my girl, dude. I was so happy to see her. But like you think of like Multiverse of Madness, and there's like all these cameo appearances, and it feels like almost a little bit like gratuitous fan service. They're all in one location. What I liked about this is that no dialogue is necessary. You just see Daredevil and Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Best. You know what I mean? Like
that was so cool.
And then, like you said, in the center of it all is this amazing fight of the X-Men, like the mutants themselves. And then you get to hear something they've done so consistently well in this series is the opinions of mutants across like media and stuff. Because even on the news, it's just like a mutant battle is unstoppable. They're still enemies, despite who's fighting to save them. They're still talking. I don't know. It was so incredibly done. And like, I don't know what happened with the show creator. He did an incredible job leading this first season, though, because like, dude, even the setup for second season, I was just like, yeah, give it to me. I think everyone wants more of X-Men 97. It's really
sad. And he wrote season 2. So that's like comfort.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what he did. Because as far as I'm concerned, nothing official ever came out. Like we know he had OnlyFans and stuff like that, but I feel like Disney is pretty progressive to maybe not so much care about that. I don't really know. I don't know what goes on behind the closed doors, right?
When we don't want to speculate.
That's the thing is like, I mean, we obviously know that he did or still does do OnlyFans, which like, I feel like in today's society, like I don't bat an eye at that.
Yeah, it's like a little bit more normalized.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, okay, like
make your money how you make your money.
I mean, do what you got to do. Right, exactly. Like I am solely judging him off of the writing that he did for season 1, which was amazing.
I think what I really liked is how he interwove like the original series.
Yeah, that was
like he gave a lot of the older stuff meaning. Yeah, in a really cool way. And then even like connecting it to Spider-Man, like I don't know if you remember, but like
we got closure.
Yeah, we got closure, and he's with MJ again, and like even just like that little nod of like, you know, he was probably in our generation growing up, and now he gets to make this show and be like, I didn't get closure. Let's give closure to the world. I also love that aspect to the finale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was really cool how he was basically telling everybody, hey, here's your homework to do. And it's like, watch all these episodes. I'm like, excuse me. It's like, to your point, a lot of not fan service, but just service to the old animated series, which I think a lot of people, that's really what brought us into, like, for me, it's what brought me into this whole world of superheroes, because I was like 4 or 5 years old watching it. And that started it all for me, that and Spider-Man, the animated series. So yeah, it was very excellent done. I'm really excited for season 2. And the cool thing is they set up so much for season 2.
So well too.
Like here, let me I'm gonna pull something up right here. And for those listening just audio, I apologize. I'll explain when I go over the picture. But one thing that is just absolutely insane is this part right here. Let me share my screen. I will figure out how to do it. I might not figure out how to do it. I have figured out how to do it. So right here, I mean, so for those listening, it's the part in the finale where Professor X grabs Magneto, IRL, not in his mind, in real life. And, you know, I love the part where this is just like crazy. Like he's just grabbing onto him and he's like, you know, if you don't do it, if you don't restore the power, I'm going to go in your mind and do it for you. And he does it like this right here. This is creating Onslaught, people. Like,
yes.
This is Onslaught right here.
Thing. Like people were like in the episode before when Cyclops blasts Charles from doing this, from entering Magneto's mind. They're like, oh, we're not getting an Onslaught storyline. It's like, no. That's still happening. Like you could see all of the pieces coming together here, you know? Oh my God.
And something that I really love that was done is like this part right here. That is exactly how he does it in the comics. It's like this is almost like a shot-for-shot comic look right here. Like it's crazy. It almost looks exactly like it after Wolverine gets the adamantium ripped from him. This is basically how it looks. That's Onslaught. So it's like great setup for you know, I'm not sure. We might get hints of Onslaught for season 2, like during season 2.
Maybe he's like another big bad down the road kind of
down the road. And I've heard some people say like, well, maybe he's the only way they can defeat Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Apocalypse was in the original animated series. They defeated him. But I've been saying this like the entire time. I'm like, remember, Apocalypse is not dead. He was just like trapped. And now clearly he's out. But, you know, the setup was so good with not only the ending, but then the post-credit, him holding Gambit's Queen of Hearts. So it's like, okay, Gambit is a horseman and death in the comics, and he's dead now. Yeah. But clearly, you know, Apocalypse has that ability to bring him back and make him a horseman. So now that's the setup for season 2. The X-Men going against Apocalypse in different timelines, which is like really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. And I have a lot of thoughts about this and ideas of what can happen, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
I think what's most exciting about all of this is like, yes, I think Onslaught is coming. I don't know how much of I think you're right. Like how much of a role he'll be able to play in season 2 because we already got Young in Sabanur, then we have Apocalypse in present day, and then we have the Ascani clan with Rachel Summers and a young Cable, or maybe it's Nathaniel. I don't know. Like,
well, it could be the clone.
Yeah, and see, like those are all questions that came up with just that small introduction scene. Oh, hello, Yeji.
Hello, Yeji. Oh, shit, Micro. Hello.
Hello, Yeji. What do you think of X-Men?
My cat jumped on screen for those listening.
Yeah, you're gonna want to watch the video version, just for that moment. But yeah, I think the time displacement is so fascinating. I don't know how they'll converge necessarily, or like how that will work. But it does. I mean, it sets up a lot, right? Like in a way, does Apocalypse become Apocalypse because of the way that the X-Men, like,
right? Do they cause it?
Do they cause it in the past?
Right.
And then, this present day version who's creating death, does he just know all this stuff because they told him, like, it? So that's a really fascinating angle. I don't know how they'll tie in together, but it's obvious that Apocalypse is who we'll be spending most of our time with. You know what I mean? And we don't know where Storm is. Like, so, everyone,
or Morph or Wolverine.
Oh yeah. They didn't show up in at least the past and future. Right. Yeah.
So I'm not sure how on board I am with this theory, but it's a theory that it's like, okay, those are the 4 horsemen: Gambit, Storm, Wolverine, and Morph.
Oh.
But we don't know. So the big question is, we don't know who pulled them through time.
Yeah, that's another huge ass question. Like,
because and I have like separate ideas, because like in the comics, Rachel Summers brings the minds of Cyclops and Jean to her future, and I believe puts them in like other bodies so they can be there to raise. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, they're skipping the mind part. They physically brought them there, right? And that's either Nathan or the clone Strife. So I'm like, okay, did she bring them there? Did Rachel bring them there? Right. And I want to know, does she have the Phoenix Force? Because she does.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is kind of interesting. But even with that, okay, Rachel Summers brought them there. Well, why did the other ones go back to ancient Egypt? Right?
Why were they ripped those separate ways? Yeah,
right, exactly. Why didn't she bring, if she brought Jean and Cyclops there, why didn't she bring everybody there? And if she did bring Jean and Cyclops there, but didn't bring the others to Egypt, who brought them there? Right?
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, Kang? I'm like, Kang? Like, because he is a direct connection to ancient Egypt, to the start of Apocalypse. As Ramatut, you know what I mean? He goes in and his men kill the person that took in Sabanur, Baal. I never know how to like names I've never heard said out loud before.
Especially in comics.
Right, it's Baal. Baal. And people who watch the channel, they know I'm really bad at pronouncing things a lot.
I would say Baal as well, just based on like my cultural, Egyptian like how we would break.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, like
your culture, Indian culture is pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's like double A's. I would separate that, but it could be just Baal. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but
that's a super interesting theory, because we did see like Doctor Doom and Baron Zemo. Why wouldn't Kang also it exists in this universe? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, especially at that specific point in time, like, and it's clearly, he's not Apocalypse yet.
No,
but Kang is directly involved with how he becomes Apocalypse. So that's why I'm like, do they do that?
Do we just see that? Yeah.
Right. Or is it too much? Does it get too convoluted between what's going on in the MCU and then the animated?
Yeah, and that's like a big thing too, because like part of me is just like, yes, Kang in the comics is a villain for all of the teams, all the super teams.
Yeah. He's not like an Avengers.
Do you
villain,
keep it
X-Men
separated villain. in an X-Men 97 series, right? Like probably not. Like maybe the hints of Avengers and Spider-Man and Daredevil are like, no, we're all in this together on this world, which I love about it. The simplest answer would be like Apocalypse himself separated the teams.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Or he tried to send them all to ancient Egypt and then on accident, or maybe Ascani or Rachel pulled, because who's with the future? It's Jean, it's Cyclops.
It's just Jean and Cyclops.
See, that would make sense that she could just be like, let me at least pull.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
And everyone else went to ancient Egypt. And then, even though I don't necessarily, I mean, it's not the worst idea, but if everyone else was a horseman, because like more horsemen sounds actually terrifying.
It's kind of crazy, right? Yeah, that would be crazy. Like just turns into the Hulk. Like,
I really liked how they used Morphin this season. I know like some people were like upset by like how powerful he seemed, but he's like, but like
he is limited to physical capabilities though.
Yeah, that's why Jean had to still like
she moved
launch him around as the Hulk. Yeah.
Like he had the strength as the Hulk.
But imagine if he what does an Apocalypse Horseman version of that power look like? That's kind of
that too
fun to think about. Yeah,
no, it really is. Yeah,
and Wolverine has been a horseman before, right? Like, am I mistaken?
I don't recall. Look it up. Yeah. What he has? No, he has.
He has been. Yeah. He was also deaf. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Because he fought Sabretooth, I think, for it. I think Apocalypse Apocalypse stripped the adamantium out of Sabretooth and gave it to Wolverine, I think. If it's the right story that I'm thinking about, I believe that's what happened.
That'd be interesting.
Which would be very interesting because Wolverine does not have adamantium right now.
Right.
So maybe that's how he gets his adamantium back. Apocalypse puts it in.
It could just be Apocalypse. Yeah. Because like part of me was like, as the episode was ending before they got shot through time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Magneto's kind of like turning a leaf. He'll just put the adamantium back on Wolverine. And then that's just not an option because I don't even know where Wolverine is.
Why does that sound worse than him ripping it out?
Yeah,
why does that?
How do you get
it
back
painful?
into a vein?
Hey, let me put this metal back on your bones.
Let me graft it to your body.
That sounds worse than pulling it out, man.
Like, Magneto, are you also a surgeon?
Yeah, like how does that even work? Like, you're very precise there, buddy. Like, because he didn't just like rip the bones out. But from what I believe, I've known about that big event in the comics. I think what happened is he actually like separates like molecules and stuff to actually make it separate from his bones before pulling it out. And that's why it kind of looks liquidy when it comes out, is because that's kind of what he does first. Because otherwise you're just ripping a skeleton.
Yeah, totally.
Right. So in a way, is that a form of mercy for Magneto? He's just,
I don't know.
Like,
it's very nice
I'm
of
done
him
with
to not
this
just like
crap.
shred it out of his body in full solid form. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought, just to like talk about the finale in general, every character, you knew their intentions, their motivations, you knew their struggles all through this. Like, we only got 10 episodes of this show, all very short episodes, and yet the characterization is so good. This is X-Men. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it really is.
When you read an X-Men comic, you know every character on that page and why they're doing what they're doing. Yeah. You can't really say that for all of Marvel's like TV shows or animated stuff. This series nailed it. And the finale is just like, I don't know about you, but for me, when you have a banger episode after banger episode after banger
episode,
you have to think like, oh man, there's such high expectations for the finale. I didn't even have that worry. I was just like, I am all in. However you want to wrap this up this season, I'm in for it, because I mean, they just like gave us some incredible stuff. And then that's not even to like, that's like all relationship and character complexities.
All that
the animation.
Oh gosh.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
they made Nightcrawler There was a moment where I thought Nightcrawler was about to get Bastioned. I don't know if you've seen Second Coming.
Yeah,
and
no, I think a lot of people were really worried about that.
Bro, I was holding my breath. I was just like, no, he's got the wings and everything. Like, he's in the form. I'm so glad it didn't happen, because it's just like, but then that's what the stakes are high on this show. Like, yes, Gambit died, and Cable didn't just like bring him back out of time. He's dead right now. And yes, we might get a version of him, but it's not going to be the Gambit that like we left,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
You know, and so that's why, like, I don't know. I love this show. Everything looked so good. The animators paid so much attention to like Marvel versus Capcom, different animes, the comics, like you said, like pulling straight out frames,
justice, really all around.
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought it was a phenomenal show. I saw it got like, was it the Gotham Awards or something? It got nominated for Best Drama Series.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, good, because some of the dialogue in this is fantastic. I mean, I don't know if there's been a day that's gone by where I haven't quoted Nightcrawler being like, "There is no love without sin. For love is best measured in what we forgive." I'm just like, oh, fuck. That's why he's my favorite X-Men. But like everyone has moments like that. Like, may they weather your mind, sister, and may they mind your weather. And I was just like, oh yeah.
And the amounts of like, I feel like one-liners we've got like that, we're just like Magneto had so many, like Magneto lives, enough. Like, oh my gosh,
make me let you down.
So many, right? He had so many freaking epic lines, and I was just like, wow, like. Wow, even just Wolverine, the writing.
The brave are the first to die, bub.
Which is
callback to
a callback to exactly.
Final Decision or whatever it was.
Exactly.
Like,
and then, my gosh. And even like in Wolverine's line where he's like, it's Jean and Scott. Those are the rules. You just forgot them for a bit. I'm like, that's even freaking really cool in its own thing.
Great. And then don't even like. I have so much love for Rogue in this series. Like,
oh man,
she just made me love her more. Like, and like when she's just like, "Who's next to die, sugar? Jean? Been there, done that.
Right?
I was like, dude,
or if he wasn't here 30 minutes before we let him die,
threw him to the wolves.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like,
the way that they. I don't know. I just thought it was phenomenal. I can't believe it's real.
Okay. So it's funny because you're saying that, and to me, it's like it's an animated series, but it felt so real. Like it felt real. I will say, and we'll wrap it up, but this made me feel emotions that I haven't felt watching a show on Disney Plus or whatever in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
In a very long time, and it's really crazy to think they did that in an animated series.
Totally,
because and I think that says a lot about it. Like I just looked up the Rotten Tomato score. Like it's got a critic score of 98%, which is like crazy. 98%.
But you can't argue with it because it's like, that was just really good TV, dude.
I'll argue with the 2% that's missing. Where are you guys at?
What didn't you like?
You can beat me in a round of fisticuffs. Let's go.
I had a friend text me and he was just like, "Is there something about the new X-Men 97 that is weird to you? Like the animation throws me off. I'm just so used to the old animation." And like I didn't respond. Like I was just like,
if you're watching,
no.
Sorry. Here's your explanation.
Here's the explanation.
He was deeply offended.
I was not only deeply offended, I was very busy that day. But I remember looking at that and I just couldn't compute what he could have meant, because I look at the animation and I'm just like, this is both nostalgic and so clean and fresh.
Yeah, I think they did a good job at that. Yeah.
I don't know what went into like the process of making it look the way it does, but I'm so happy with what we got. Like just it's an incredible show, and just not even an incredible cartoon, just a show. It's just really good.
Yeah. Again, like it made me feel emotions that I haven't felt watching a show in a very, very long time. I mean, Loki did it for me, but I feel like so here's the last thing I'll say, because it's something I thought of before. Like you were talking about this, like all the different characters, like what they're doing, their story. This show did an amazing job at giving each character like time. Like, I think Marvel Studios' biggest problem recently is they're introducing a lot of characters in like one show in like one sitting, and then they're doing things that they think we should care about. But I'm like, you didn't give me a reason.
Yeah, why do I care?
Right. You didn't give me a reason to care about this character. You didn't develop them enough. You didn't take enough time. You just kind of put them on the screen, and you're just kind of like in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, there's that woman who plays like the leader of the refugees, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't care about her at all. Like at all.
Katie O'Brien's character. Yeah,
right.
I remember,
the girl from Star Wars as well, or the Ahsoka.
But I had the same. I had the same reason. I had the same feeling. I was just like, yeah, cool. She was like a badass warrior woman in the microverse.
Right.
So what?
Cool. Yeah, why? Exactly. Like,
how does she affect our story? You know,
she doesn't. That's I mean, barely. And but that's the thing that Marvel, I think, has done a lot. Even with like Secret Invasion, like bringing in Nick Fury's wife and stuff. I'm like, I still kind of don't care about this, and you tried to make me care about this.
Yeah.
But I also don't care about the present Nick Fury that you're showing me on screen. So it's so I think this show did an excellent job.
Yeah, I mean, it made me care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I did not like Morph in the original because he was annoying to me.
He was just kind of there.
But then they made him like a hero and funny and quippy, and I was just like,
love with Wolverine.
Yeah, that was dude. The internet discourse after that, people were like, "Oh my god, was that his feelings?" I was like, "I'm pretty sure."
Well, he confirmed it. Budamayo confirmed it.
Yeah, he did. Right? I think I saw that last night. But I don't know. I've been thinking about. I'm literally wearing an X-Men shirt right now because like when I was packing for my trip, I'm not home obviously, but I was just like, I want to rep X-Men. And like that's just a good feeling, dude. Like,
exactly. I'll end everybody with this thought because I don't know who else was this as a kid. I was, it wasn't cool to be a nerd when you were a kid. Yeah. But I was rocking X-Men shirts. I was doing all that, and I just feel like it's so cool now that it's such a cool thing. Right.
Yeah.
Like it's such a cool thing. Like if you walked, Burbank, what's that strip where the theater is? I don't know what that's called.
Like that little downtown area.
Right. The little downtown Burbank area. Like if you walk with that, like I'm sure people are like, yo, like I love your shirt, dude. Like, yo, you know what I mean? You'd probably meet a lot of like-minded people that are like, yo, did you watch X-Men 97? Like, yo, you see about Deadpool and Wolverine? Like all that. It's pretty cool to see how far it's
part of
come.
the culture now.
It is part of the culture now. And it's really cool because again, like, let's see, 92, when X-Men animated series starts, I was 3 years old. I probably didn't start watching it the exact year it came out. So I was probably like 4 or 5 when I started watching it. And that's what got me really to where I am today, in all honesty. So thank you, X-Men animated series, and thank you, X-Men 97. It's like you said, I didn't have any doubt that we're going to nail this finale. Now season 2 with Apocalypse, Gambit as a horseman, I believe Onslaught is coming as well. So a lot of exciting stuff to look forward to. A lot of exciting stuff.
Onslaught, Apocalypse, it's all coming.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to give me, I'll eat it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. After what you just gave me. Yeah, I'm here for it. But hey, y'all, let us know your thoughts on the finale. Let us know how excited you are for season 2, the premise of season 2 with Apocalypse and everything. What do you think? Let us know. And what a awesome time to be alive as a
time to be alive.
Superhero fan. Just pop
Magneto lives. All of us live.
He had such good lines, man.
Dude, and Magneto's kind of
when he said enough.
Yeah,
it was so subtle. It was like enough. He was just like enough. I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, follow the man. If I was there, I'd be.
Bro was sick and fucking
right. But that's another story. That's another story. But Law, thanks for being here again. Everybody should know who Law is by now. If you don't, that's who he is.
Hi.
He interviews the biggest celebrities in Hollywood. Check out his Instagram. We'll link it down below so you can. So I'll brag for him. He interviews everybody, like everybody. Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie. Who did you just interview? Chris
Hemsworth and Anya Taylor-Joy
for Furiosa. Interviews everybody. So check out his Instagram. We'll link it. He's the real deal, and you'll see him in other podcasts again, of course. But let us know how excited you are for X-Men 97 season 2, Deadpool, Wolverine. Anything you're excited about? for the future pop culture, let us know, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks. Woof woof.